You lost two very close friends when you were 16. God rest their soul. How did that play with your mind or your outlook?
Yeah, I lost one friend through him being involved in the wrong company and the wrong scenarios, and I lost the other person in a car accident. And, both of those losses are, when you lose someone at 16 and you don't really understand loss, especially of young people, both these people were young, it really pushes you to reflect in a way that you wouldn't usually. Initially, I was angry. I was upset because I felt they didn't deserve it. They were wonderful people. They were beautiful people. But somehow, why did they have to go through that? Why did they deserve that? And that's a question that you can never fully answer, of course. But what I realized was that the biggest mistake I could make is in not living with the insight and the learnings they gave me. The way it forced me to reflect was it started making me reflect on my choices in life. I started to realize that life was a lot shorter and a lot longer than I thought. And what I mean by that is, we all say life is short, like live it now. But also life is long when you make bad choices. So when you make good choices, you can live happier in the present. And when you make bad choices, it can feel like forever, right? You make the wrong choice, you choose the wrong partner, and you struggle to get out of a toxic relationship. That can feel like decades. Or you make a good choice in a career path that you choose, and you can live in the present and enjoy the life that you're creating. And so life can be short and long. And at that point, I realized that my choices mattered more than I thought. I had to be far more intentional than I thought. I think up until then, I lived a quite unintentional, 16-year-old, unthoughtful life where it didn't really matter. Like, there's no consequences to my actions. Let's just live on the edge. And all of a sudden, I started to realize, well, actually, every one of my choices does matter, because if I end up living a long time, I'm going to be experiencing them for a long time. And even if I go now in the next few years, as I've seen some of my friends do, it's going to matter even more. And so either way, they matter. And I hope that realizes a lot of time people feel, well, life doesn't matter because you could go at any point. And it's like, well, no, it matters even more. Or people feel, oh, life doesn't matter because I have so long. And it's like, no, it matters even more because you have so long to live that experience of life. So I hope it helps people realize that your life matters, whichever length it ends up being. But to me, it made me reflect on, like, how could I be far more intentional and conscious and thoughtful with the choices I made? How could I not underestimate the power of a choice? And I started to realize at that point that there were 4 important choices we make in our life. The first is how I feel about myself. How you feel about yourself is the most important choice you will ever make in your life. And it's a choice because the way you feel about yourself is based on the thoughts you choose to believe about yourself. So if a thought you have about yourself is, I'm not good enough, and you keep repeating that thought, you will start to believe that thought, and that thought will become your reality. And now you've chosen that thought so many times that that is the life you've chosen for yourself. And for me, I started to recognize at that point, I had to choose my identity rather than have my identity be chosen for me, because life is short. And so that was the first decision. The second decision I realized was who you decide to spend your life with. The second most important decision you choose to make in your life is who you choose to give your love to and who you choose to receive love from. Because who you choose to give love to is going to decipher whether you feel fulfilled, whether you feel inspired, whether you feel energized. And who you choose to receive love from is going to affect your mood. As we get older and older and older, we spend less time with our parents. We spend less time with our families. We spend less time with our friends. We spend more and more time with that person that we chose to be with. But often we don't really make a choice based on any information. The third choice we make, the most important choice we make, is what we choose to do for money, what we choose to do with our lives, like what you're doing right now and what we do right now, because you're going to do that for 9, 10 hours a day, if not 14 hours a day, if not 16 hours a day for some of us. And then finally, the fourth most important decision you choose to make is the fourth most important decision you choose to make is how you serve the world, how you choose to give back, how you choose to reciprocate for all the greatness that you got, because no one is self-made. And that's when I started to realize that I had to start getting intentional about my choices, because up until then I was just doing anything and everything.